Welcome back to Influencer Boxing Talk. You read the title, The Potential Downfall of Misfits. So what I want to speak on is specifically is Ginty here after his fight with Phase Temper. In this clip, he's saying that in the efforts to not come off as boring, he tried to throw more punches. He tried to make the build up good. He tried to trash talk. I just want to get into the other ways he could have done that. And it's just real concerning to me as a fan of Misfits that they're going to be guys that's on their fourth fight and still have no direction on how to entertain the fans. So let's get right into it. So I believe either you get fans' attention by your personality from your social media platforms, your persona in the build up to the fight, your face-offs, press conferences, and the interactions between you and your opponent, and yourself focusing the attention on yourself, as we see with Saul Poppy, like what you're doing in the gym, those type of things. And also like the storyline and goal you're seeking to have on Misfits specifically. So with Ginty, he doesn't have any of that. I don't think he really has aspirations to be things like having the longest winning streak or the highest KO ratio, or even using Misfits to propel him to like his professional boxing career if that's what he want to do. Because there are some fighters that we're seeing like Saul Poppy. We see he has dreams of being a professional boxer, so there's a reason to watch him. That's just adding on top to the things he already does well. And you could do it for legacy as well, as we can see for KSI. What's your driving force when you're on Misfits? Why should people watch your fight? That's what you should have. And with Ginty, he just doesn't have that right now. It's just crazy to me. It's really frustrating as a fan. He's on his fourth fight, man. He doesn't have no direction. I just like to see that change. I think whatever it is that you should remind the audience that that's the reason why you should tune into your fights. I mean, Mams Taylor said this. I'm gonna break it down like that. He said, Misfits in its place in the boxing world. He said that Misfits is going to be the WWE of boxing. So drawing a parallel from that, Misfits has the opportunity to draw in the audience by the use of unique characters and personalities. I mean, Mams Taylor also said things like, in the contracts, it's going to penalize the fighters for not being able to promote. So I believe that's another reason why Ginty was doing that too, because it's in the contract now. He added them to the contracts. And I think it just also that's one thing to discourage the fighters to not be boring or to not contribute to the promotion of their fights. But he should also add things to encourage the fighters to be more creative and, entertain the fans. And I think it sounds really, what I'm about to say, it sounds really fake, or it sounds really like, scripted. But I think it just be more beneficial for the smaller guys, especially. That Mams add things like maybe some costume designers, some theme music producers, songwriters. I like the WWE. The guy comes out, to his fights with a similar song, got some familiar colorways, has literally a whole brand, building his brand. And I think he should include those resources for the fighters. And then more on that, you have to just remember, this is a long year thing. This is not just a 1-2 year thing. Misfits is going to be here. It's going to be here for a long time. Years pass. They've been in the zone for a year. And I think they have 4 years to go. And there needs to be a big percentage of the lesser known guys. The big guys, of course, they don't have to do it that much. They have a pretty much. This is going to be a pay-per-view stars within the next 6 months, like Assault Poppy and Slim. But for the really small guys coming up in Misfits, there needs to be a large percentage of them that have the ability to attract new fans. And then, of course, you're going to have those influencers out there that want to remain true to themselves, and they just have no desire to be a character or a predominantly personality. They just want to be kind of plain, just kind of real simple, come up, show thanks to the Misfits and the fighters and showing a lot of respect, which I respect that, but that alone is not going to gain them a new fans. Them having no personality is really not doing them any good. when it comes to Misfits boxing in the professional world, it's more fitting. It just works more there. But in Misfits, that's not the audience that's watching Misfits. That's not what they're looking for. Man, it's just so much to touch on. We can get into it though. You need to have a goal or aspiration to achieve on Misfits, or some sort of character persona in order to gain the audience on Misfits. It needs to be a selling point for your fights and career. I also think MAM should add some points in these contracts on how to build their marketability, which sounds like a more of a manager job, a job of a manager of these smaller guys. But a lot of them, I don't think they have a manager just really have their best interests at heart or know how to have those capabilities of teaching their fighter how to become a bigger fighter. I think and maybe their just job is there right now is just to negotiate terms and money and weight and stuff like that with MAMs and stuff like that. But as far as marketability, I don't think a lot of these smaller guys have that knowledge, you know. I mean, look at what's working. Look at what's working with Slim and Salt Poppy. These guys have like phrases. They got like chants. Man, they got emotes, signature poses, all the things that you want to show to the audience, especially the younger audience. It's make them excited to see their fighter fight when they see Salt Poppy doing this thing with his hands, or just the small things. They're small, but they mean a lot to the audience. It's entertaining to see, and they want to replicate that, and it makes it look fun. So I think that's the most beneficial thing that they're missing out on, things like that. So I say add that to the contracts. Or these guys can ask around, ask the fighters, ask the Misfits representatives over there and that. It just doing those things make you more identifiable. It gives you color, It just makes you stand out. And then you have the freedom to be as creative as you want. As we can see, we saw a plethora of different characters over the time in Misfits, and it's just 1 year. And people aren't going to watch you interested in seeing skill versus skill primarily. So the fighters have to be aware of this. We appreciate it, but it's not the main focus. That's not what Misfits here to do. Maybe in the pro division, they're going to want to see that. But in terms of the Misfits cards throughout the year, it's most likely just going to be the personalities. I mean, all these guys are not professional boxers. They don't want to be professional boxers, so it just makes sense, man. Don't just be a boxer and think that's all you need to do to be on Misfits. It's not what's gonna bring you more money either. In the end, I think having too many fighters who choose not to promote themselves throughout their persona or character or their social media presence could cause Misfits to lose viewership over time. Now, there'll always be the pay-per-view stars, but to have a solid, decent undercard who's also entertaining as well and putting their best foot forward when it comes to promoting is important. I think it's very, very important. I mean, and it's just what I see with these younger guys is what I notice is they're giving big opportunities to fight on Misfits. They become starstruck by shaking hands with the big guys, meeting the big guys, bigger names, bigger influencers in the scene, and they just feel this incline to show gratitude and respect most of the time, which I understand. You're only human, and I think that's a very normal response. But there's other ways you can show respect and gratitude to these guys you're shaking hands with. We understand how life changing being on Misfits could be. I done read some crazy stories from Twitter actually about how Anthony Taylor was able to buy his family a house, and DK Money being able to help his mom with medical stuff. It's just real beneficial. So I understand the fact that they feel obligated to be respectful and show gratitude, but it's the way that they're doing it it's just I can understand it because I believe most of it is out of nerves. Like, they're just nervous to be on the big stage, having a big slice on them. But man, there are other ways you can show respect and gratitude. I don't blame him for this, but you have to realize you can also show respect and gratitude by investing in yourself, by the actions I mentioned before, like the creating the actual colors in your personality, I listed them before, like the chants and stuff like that. Like with Pineda, he got his Vamos, So little things like that. You can't just sit there at the press conference just thank this person, thank that person. You know, you got to add on to it. That's another way you can show respect, man. I think when they're at the press conferences, the smaller guys specifically, they see the ATs, they see the Slims. Maybe they thinking they need to be loud to be entertaining. That's not totally the case. Or they're scared to just interrupt the people working for Misfits, the mams and stuff like that. But I think it's better to know exactly where the line is by testing it out or asking backstage, asking fighters, asking mams or the Misfits representatives what's too far. I think that's the least of their worries, though. But you got to know where the line is when you're trying to promote yourself. You can't just be taking up all the time. And you have your those times where you're doing the interview. That's your time to shine, man. The spotlight's on you. That's your opportunity. Take advantage of it. I think a perfect example, not just hit me. A perfect example of someone who's done this is very good. Is Chase Demore. Man, this guy can be at press conferences. He's not even fighting that. He just talking smack. He's getting his name out there, making him known in the Misfits world. And I think he's done very well at that. And I'm sure if you cross the line with somehow, let's say you just go out of line trying to promote yourself, I don't think Mams is gonna kick you off of Misfits. He's not gonna cut your paycheck. I don't think he's gonna do that, because this is why I believe that Chase is not only fighting on a PPV card, but he's not only fighting, but he's fighting on a pay-per-view card. Not just any pay-per-view card, the biggest one of the year. Even considering what he did in his last fight. So I think the people over at Misfits and Mams is very lenient. They're very willing to work with you through your career ups and downs. So I don't think slipping up or accidentally crossing the line trying to promote is gonna, it's not gonna ban you from Misfits. Man, it's just my perspective on this topic. Nobody has yet to explain why the smaller guys don't come with a sense of direction when it comes to their efforts to gain interest in their boxing careers. I like the general direction Misfits is going in, especially with Misfits Council. I see them as the heartbeat of Misfits because A, they can recruit new influencers. B, they have knowledge and experience, the guys that are in there, to train them or direct the people who can, if they're not can directly train the newer guys coming into the scene. As I'm seeing right now, BJ Flores, I'm pretty sure he's got a new guy coming into the scene. He seems like a bucket list guy. He's swimming with sharks. He's skydiving. He's doing all these crazy, wild things. And Misfits is going to be the next venture, So that'll be interesting to see. His name is Tristan Ham. Maybe look out for him. He may be dangerous in the future. Just know I was the first one to acknowledge him. It's not too big right now. I believe he just started his Twitter like not even a month ago. He's very new, but he's big on Instagram though. But yeah, things like that. You got that. You got that advantage of having the Misfits Council. I mean, they set out fights to structure the weight classes, and they speak up on rules to keep the influencers safe and fair. I mean, you got the guys, True Jordy and Leon Wills, what come from way back when, from the big start of YouTube boxing. So you keeping the history of it and what grounded us and making influencer boxing what it is today. And I like there's room for, one-off celebrity beefs, which Ginty is kind of trying to replicate that trying to have like a beef with, I would say Tom Zanetti. He didn't fight Tom Zanetti. What was it? They're both named Tommy. Tom Zanetti and FaZe Temper name is Tommy. But yeah, he tried to fake a beef with FaZe Temper. You're going to have that with naturally anyway on Misfits. You don't always have to take their route. They're going to be real beefs. Like Tennessee, the female fight on the last JJ card when he fought Joe Fournier. That was a real internet celebrity beef. It wasn't as big, but it was there. You're going to have fights like that. I don't think you should fake it in order to sell the fight. There's so many other ways, And yeah, I like there's room for the one-off celebrity beef matches. They come and fight on Misfits, you know, do the thing, have a one-off match, and maybe do a rematch. And man, I really appreciate the fact that the Zone has come around and allowed room for Misfits in the first place. I'm just think back, just rewind. Let's rewind. Like 2019, Logan and KSI 2, it's very big on the Zone, not on YouTube, on a proper pay-per-view. And at that time, people were very frustrated that there was no other influences on the card, but I think it was Josh Bruckner, because going back and doing my stats video, he was the only other influences on the card besides KSI and Logan. And they didn't like the idea of influencers fighting on a professional app like that on the Zone. But look how they come around, man. This year, it just real shows the impact Misfits has had on the Zone and having a trusting relationship and having more belief in them. And man, it's just great to see. I like where Misfits is going. I just want Misfits to remain fresh and fun and grounded in what started it all, which were the clash of online personalities in general. I would hate for the disinterest over time to be because fighters started to become boxers before influencers. Not saying they shouldn't take boxing seriously because it's a very dangerous sport. You do not want to get hurt in that ring, man. But there should be a balance, man. You should find a balance between being an influencer and a boxer. That's why you're here for it. That's why we're here to watch you, you know. Guys like Ginty, I actually looked at his channel. Ginty, I don't hate Ginty. He makes him seem like I don't hate Ginty. I'm just using him as an example. OJ Rose does this as well. Like he haven't posted since he started fighting, like seriously on Misfits. Like I'm looking at his YouTube channel. He used to post some good content, little hot chip eating videos, challenges, or like a pillow fight. And that's how it blew him up on TikTok, was his clips from his YouTube channel. He hasn't posted anything new in like 5 months. So, and the guy is ridiculously good in boxing, on the boxing side of things, but on the influencer side of things, he's not all the way there yet in terms of his consistency. You don't have to be big, but you should be showing the people your personality. Who is OJ Rose? You know, the storyline that adds to the interest as well. Same thing with Ginty. He can do that as well. Have a Q&A, you know, things that familiarize. I messed up. But anyways, I'm gonna keep moving. You do it live. Yeah, familiarize yourself with the audience, and I think they should take that next step. It's so preventable as well. Yeah, they just have the X questions. As you can see, like in this video, I'm playing. Ash Rex, who has really been a good mate, helping him out through his thought process, but he was kind of like feeling defeated. It sounds weird. Yeah, of course he's defeated. He got beat by Face Table, but his mindset in terms of promoting, it felt like that was all he could do, and he did his best. But man, there's so many other ways, like how I described, like imagine Ginty, like theme music, got the trash talk on point, like. He's pouring into his storyline. He's building a persona. He's getting better at boxing as well. That's important as well, because you don't just want to have a persona and then just be trash at boxing. You know, like I said, it's always need to be balanced. But yeah, man. And on the business side of the things, I want to end it off on this. It could bring in more money with enough interest. Comes with the demand for merch from the audience. You know, for the people and fans watching Misfits. Soon enough, I tried to predict this and writing the script for this, that Pineda was going to have his own merch within 6 months. But as we can see, if you guys haven't been on Twitter or not, Misfits is actually testing out some new merch before this Prime card coming up. Video coming out soon, my prediction. But yeah, I don't think this the real thing. I just think they're just testing it out right now to see what's the interest level like right now in merch. But I was planning on saying that, like, it's very true. Like, their ability to make more money on the business side of things, becoming more of a persona or a character or having a storyline, a goal, anything, it just makes so much sense on the business side. You know, you can capitalize off the merch. We might even see sponsorships given to Misfit superstars from like big companies and opportunities. I think that's just over the horizon, but the fighters have to keep putting in the work on that department. You know, I can see us all Poppy doing I was about to say Gatorade, but of course Prime, you can't do that, bro. But yeah, he's gonna have maybe Nike or Adidas. I can see that within the next. I'll be the first person to predict this. Salt Poppy or Slim is gonna be on a commercial within the next year. I say within the next 12 months, we'll see him in a commercial, which is big. But we've seen big things happen in this space. We've seen it, so I believe it can happen, man. I'm just so excited, man. I'm so excited for what's to come on Misfits and what it looks like, and just going on next. This is the last thing. Like I said, like the Misfits Council, they're the heartbeat of Misfits. They get people new in. They're setting up rules. So if anybody if anybody does anything wrong, they get kicked off. You know, it's solid opinions from level-headed guys, and I just think Misfits is it's gonna blow, especially with this card. I feel like this is like KSI's shoot Misfits up into space. You know, it's going to the moon and further than that. But that's pretty much all what I wanted to say. I mean, Ginty, you could do better, man. What brings attention to you as a Misfits fighter in your persona is just a consistency of behaviors. You know, they make you identifiable. Okay, when we look at Salt Poppy, when we compare him to someone like OJ Rose. Let's say OJ Rose beats Salt Poppy. I know that's a mile away, but let's just say OJ Rose, Slim gets injured, OJ Rose slides in, OJ Rose knocks out Salt Poppy. What do you do with OJ Rose? Literally, what do you do with a guy who has no content out there currently, instead of he just did like review of his fights? That's not real content, you know. It's not what gonna interest you. What do you do with a guy like that? How do you take him from being where he's at now to being a superstar when he doesn't have a superstar personality? He doesn't seem to have any goals on Misfits. Everything he's pretty much saying has been focused on the fight ahead of him. Every fight he's been given, you know. He's been very thankful. Like I said before, the smaller guys are very thankful. They feel very obligated to be respectful, which I understand. But you can't only do that, man. You know. And I think it's just bad for the business side if he's going to be the least paid champion. Let's say he beats up, like I said, knocks out Soul Poppy, he's going to be the least paid champion. So I think he should put more effort into his persona, character, wherever route he's going to take. Man, just so much ways he can grow. It was just very, 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 very frustrating as a fan to see Ginty just feel so defeated in the way that he was promoting, man. And train hard at the gym, that's important as well, man. But I think I'm going to end it off on that. It's been Influencer Boxing Talk. Make sure you tune into the next video I got coming very soon about the Prime card, my predictions and thoughts on it. And yeah, man. See you guys next time.